Hey guys, welcome back to Fit Father. In today's video, I'm going to talk about rest, recovery, and maintenance. First, I want to talk about rest and recovery. If you're training frequently, you want to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrition to recover and rebuild those muscles, and also proper sleep. You know, people don't understand how important sleep is to recovery and muscle growth. You know, everybody thinks everything happens in the gym. Believe it or not, that's the last on the list. Sleep is number one because you need sleep to rest and for your muscles to recover, to grow. Then it's your nutrition. Your nutrition is everything, obviously. One, for overall health, but also to build muscle, you need enough protein. And then third is your training. So once you hit your bases in number 1 and 2, you're well rested, you're well nourished, so now you're ready to train and get the most out of it. So the third point is recovery and maintenance. Maintenance. I have a couple tools that I like to use for maintenance besides just stretching. My first tool I like to use is called the Tiger Tail, or self-torture device. It's great for hitting specific areas where you may have some muscle soreness, tenderness, knots within the muscle. I like to use these for calves, shins, mainly quads in that area, because you can really hit them specific spots within the quad. And the minute you hit an area that you feel, you'll know it, that pain kind of radiates, that's your problem areas. So they're the areas you really want to focus on. But this is a great one. I'll kind of show you, how I like to use it. I recommend sitting down to do it, especially for hamstrings. If you're standing, your hamstrings and quads are somewhat engaged. But for example, quads, you can work the entire quad with the Tiger Tail. So if your trouble area is towards the knee in the teardrop area, you can really focus and roll into that area. But just to hit the whole quad, from all sides, and find those areas that you feel have some issues, and you'll know what I mean by issues when it comes to little pains and that kind of stuff, because that's usually a sign of muscle knot that needs to be broken up. And when you break them up, your muscle gets better blood flow and all that kind of stuff, and it just breaks up that tissue. But another one I like to use is the lacrosse ball. Lacrosse ball is really for like pinpoint accuracy when you have really specific areas. What's great about the lacrosse ball, you can use it while standing. You find a spot on your back or like shoulder, you press up against the wall, you kind of move around and roll on that ball and find that specific spot that's causing some discomfort. I always have a lot of problems in my teres area, which is behind the shoulder, right behind the armpit area. It's a spot where it kind of helps really open up a lot of movement in my shoulder. So for example, like my range of motion sometimes is pretty off. Like right now, my shoulders are pretty stiff. So once I roll this ball on the teres area on the ground, my arm will drop and hit the floor. So it will open up that whole area. It's just amazing how these things work. Disclaimer: it is painful. But the more you do it, you kind of get used to it, and once you realize the benefits from the rolling, you'll forget about the pain. But yeah, these are great arms, forearm work. You can even roll the triceps. Even if you're using the ball, put this on the table and just roll your arm across the ball itself. Any trouble areas, you feel it. They're great. You can really just get in there with the ball. And the third tool is the foam roller. Foam roller is great because you can hit large areas in a short period of time. I like to roll my legs a few times a week, especially before a leg workout and after a leg workout. Same with back. You can really roll out the erectors and the lats with the foam roller. I'll get on the ground for you real quick and kind of show you a couple movements, how to roll across the muscles, when to stop and all that kind of stuff. So first I'm going to roll the quad a little bit, show you the motion, and then we'll go from there. So first I'm gonna roll the quad. So I'm gonna put my left hand out in front of me to give myself support. I got my right foot on the ground also for support, and I'll just kind of just let my left leg just lie. And I'm gonna roll, kind of rolling over like the hip, where the hip ties in, and right around my IT bands, which is runs up the side of the leg, right below the hip bone, down to the knee. So I like to hit them areas. You know, pressure depends on what you can handle. You know, if it's really a lot of pain, just don't apply as much pressure. I recommend, you know, roll those areas over about 10 to 15 times. Do like 2-3 sets. Just to help sort of breaking them areas up and loosen them up. Another one is for your back. I'll show you a couple movements for back. For your spinal erectors, you know, get a good footing, put your legs roughly about shoulder width apart, hug yourself, and just slowly roll your back. And once you find them areas that you feel a little bit tender, you know, just stick to them areas, kind of roll over, like I said, about 10 to 15 times. You know, in the lat, kind of roll to the side, roll them areas. Even right into the armpit area, there's a lot of muscles that tie in that area, so it's good to break them up, loosen them up. But yeah, so, you know, like I said, maintenance, guys, is so important, especially as you're getting older. If you train a lot, I recommend picking up a few of these